Guidelines for Health.
Hi, everyone. We are getting ready to go live in the San Francisco Bay Area on KDOW Radio, so stay tuned. We have a great guest today, a music producer and vascular surgeon, so don't go away.
Sponsored by The Way to My Heart Incorporated.
Hello?
Welcome to the Heart of Innovation, 60 minutes that could save life and limb with new breakthrough ideas and innovation changing the healthcare landscape. Brought to you by Patient Advocacy Group, the Global PAD Association at padhelp.org, in partnership with Reflow Medical, the pulse of medical ingenuity. Here are your hosts for the Heart of Innovation, Emmy Award-winning journalist and founder of the Global PAD Association, Kim McNicholas, and interventional cardiologist and founder of Save My Piggies Health and Wellness, Dr. John Phillips.
Everyone, welcome to the show. A vascular surgeon with real rhythm. We have Dr. Robert McLafferty with us from Oregon, where he practices vascular surgery, but word has it that he is giving up his practice to pursue a career in music, something he's always been passionate about, although he's still kind of holding on to those ties of saving life and limb. So we're going to get to his story in a moment. But first, Dr. Phillips, it's certainly been a while since you and I have connected. So I'm really looking forward to, co-hosting with you live.
Yeah, definitely. Week. Definitely. Thanks.
But you're still on call, so you may have to go do a STEMI or save some piggies.
Yes, indeed. Well, we had one last night, and it always brings you back to why you do this when you're able to help somebody in an acute situation where, life's really kind of on the line. And I know, Rob will share some of those thoughts as well, but life is short. So it's important to pursue, other hobbies and interests and things that we're good at. So I'm really looking forward to hearing the story. I do want to thank the global, thank you, obviously, Kim, for hosting this. And we need to talk a little bit at some point about what you and your team did for a gentleman early this morning to try to help him with some leg issues, because truly going above and beyond the call, a veteran as well. But I'd like to thank the CLI Global Society as well, and the Ohio Foot and Ankle Medical Foundation. We did a webinar last week, and really was sharing my thoughts about critical limb ischemia and chronic limb-threatening ischemia to the podiatrists that were on the call. And it reminded me of kind of why we all get in this business, to help people save piggies and save limbs. And it was nice to hear from the podiatrists that are interested in really helping these folks. So it was good. We had a good webinar.
That Dr. McLafferty is smiling over there because he's sitting in Key West, Florida, as we speak at an innovation and wound care conference. So
I wish I was in Key West. Yeah, I wish I was in Key West right now, because it's snowing in Columbus, and when it snows in Columbus, that's a problem. So I hope I don't have to go in, because the roads are looking terrible.
I know, it's so gloomy here. We're really jealous, Dr. McLafferty, and he didn't even bring a margarita to share. He's sitting there with a cup of coffee, and I'm like, if I was in Key West, Florida, I'd have a little Baileys and cream in there. But by the same token, I probably would have had something chilled.
He's supposed to be learning. But I remember going to Key West one time. There are a lot of chickens and roosters and stuff roaming that area, so that was curious to me. How was your week?
Oh my gosh, it was a little bit crazy, but I do have to give props. You mentioned that call this morning with Douglas answered the phone. We have our Leg Saver hotline at 1-833-PAD-LEGS up there in the corner. And Douglas, the past 2 days, he's been heroic. He's one of our PAD navigators. He's also a PAD warrior. And he answered the phone yesterday morning at 4:00 in the morning, Pacific time. Or I don't even know. It might have been, Douglas is actually here. Douglas, yesterday morning, was it at 4:00 in the morning, or was it your time? This morning, I know
my time.
4:00 his time in the morning from someone on the East Coast, which was only 5:00. A patient in Wisconsin, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, whom we've been helping. Yeah. We helped her quit. She's down to 1 cigarette a day. She's doing great. Still has some leg pain. She's improved, but really wanted to talk to someone because, the pain wakes her up in the middle of the night, and we're working on facilitating expedited care for her. But heroically, Douglas answered the phone, talked her through it, gave her some inspiration and some hope. And it was really heroic on his part. And then this morning, a disabled veteran, bless his heart, Douglas, of course, is a certified addiction counselor. He has a lot of experience in helping people in despair. And he was able to sit there at Douglas. What time this morning, your time?
It was a little after 5, and we talked to about 7 o'clock.
Yeah. And these patients absolutely love him. He does such a great job just providing hope and inspiration. On our hotline, we don't diagnose, we don't treat, we don't provide medical advice. We sit there and we actually listen and we help them to find, the care they need. And so Douglas was able to get all the notes that I needed, and I was able to get on the phone with him, chat with him even further, offer him some greater inspiration. And now we're connecting him with Life Aid Hope, with the CEO, JW, who is actively involved in Veterans Affairs, and he's going to help him. So it's really, it's amazing. And Douglas, I just have to give you a shout out. That was above and beyond. So thank you from the bottom of my heart for all you're doing to help save life and limb and help our network.
Kudos, Douglas.
So speaking of which, as if that wasn't enough inspiration, I think before we get started and launch into the conversation with Dr. Robert McLafferty, I think we should have a moment of inspiration from Dr. John Phillips.
Dr. John Phillips, spectacular vascular moment of inspiration.
All right, so I was flipping through the old mental Rolodex, thinking about, okay, let me try to find a famous physician who was also a musician or had a musical background. So I landed on Arthur Conan Doyle. Y'all might know that he was a Scottish physician, but an author, and he's best known for creating Sherlock Holmes. But he also played the violin, and I don't know a ton of his work, but I think he incorporated music into a lot of his work. But he's got a lot of quotes, and I've got two that I wanted to share.
Okay. So Robert, Dr. McLafferty, feel free to weigh in when he.
Let me know what you think, Rob.
Okay, go ahead.
And so the first one is, there's nothing more deceptive than an obvious fact. And so, I think a lot of times we
Nice.
look for zebras when in fact there are horses everywhere. So we can talk about that. And then the other one is, I like this one, is mediocrity knows nothing higher than itself, but talent instantly recognizes genius.
Those are good. I like them.
I'm out for now.
I like those. Yeah, I've got the Wi-Fi working and everything's together now. So I apologize for my freeze ups yesterday, but just before. So thank you.
No problem. But those quotes really resonate, don't they?
Well, I mean, he may have froze again on us, but I mean, I think a lot of times when we're talking to patients, you look for, common things are common, but oftentimes we miss that. But in mediocrity, what does Oscar Wilde say about repetition or following somebody's footsteps? It's the biggest compliment mediocre can pay to the exceptional. So nonetheless.
Well, Dr. McLafferty is far from mediocre. We're going to hear from him coming up in just a moment. We always chit chat, go back and forth. You and I catch up a little bit in the first segment of the show, which is always really fun. Glad we got to give a shout out to Douglas. Well deserved. But coming up next, you're going to have a little bit more time with Dr. McLafferty and learn about his passion for music. So stay with us right here on KDOW. Okay. So,
right.
I'm almost wondering though, I know Joshua wants you to turn it this way, but I'm wondering if it'll be less bandwidth if he's,
I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
I'm so sorry. I'm hooked up to a Starlink because the hotel, Wi-Fi is awful. And I'm kind of panicking here. I'm just,
Oh no, don't.
the one time we're trying to do Wi-Fi, it's just not working.
Now maybe turn your camera.
Yeah,
see if you can turn your camera
off. If you turn your camera off, that might help with the bandwidth.
Yeah, okay, I'll turn it off for now.
Yeah, but I don't know if
we won't have any video of it. I might just end up on this one just putting a graphic up.
Hey, Kim,
Unless you want to.
I got to
You
take
can
a call
try
from
it
the
that
ER real
way.
quick. I'm going to go on mute here.
Yeah, you can actually try it that way if you want.
I'm going to try the hotel Wi-Fi. I'm hooked up to Starlink right now.
Okay.
I'm just going to give it a try. Give me 1 second.
Sorry, guys. I'm on with the ER, so I'm just going mute here.
Okay. So if it ends up just being me,
we're going to do this. We'll get it done. I'm beside myself here.
Oh no, you sound good now.
Back in 30 seconds.
You sound good now, but
good.
Douglas, get ready to come on with me if no one's going to be joining. If you freeze again, though, just turn off the camera and just talk to me.
We got you
Dr.
back.
Phillips may have to run.
All right.
24/7 on SNC.TV and on Local Now, Channel 525.
KDOW, Palo Alto.
AM 1220, KDOW.
Welcome back to the Heart of Innovation. For more on today's topic, go to theheartofinnovation.org. That's theheartofinnovation.org. Once again, here's Emmy Award-winning journalist Kim McNicholas and interventional cardiologist Dr. John Phillips.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the show. Dr. John Phillips is actually, as we speak, on the phone with the emergency room. He is on call this weekend, so he may or may not be back. We're watching him very closely as he's sitting there on the phone trying to handle an emergency situation. So we send good thoughts and prayers off to whatever patient is involved and hoping that they're going to be okay. But meantime, we are joined by Dr. Robert McLafferty. He is from Oregon. He is a vascular surgeon, and he is going to be talking to us today about his music career. So he has spent a long time in vascular surgery, but the entire time that he has been treating patients, saving life and limb, he has also been doing his music on the side. He's going through school right now. He's going through the Berklee School of Music. And this is all while practicing medicine full time. Dr. McLafferty, how are you balancing, first off, being a full-time vascular surgeon, but also going to school for music?
Well, it's the hardest fun I've ever had.
It's the hardest fun.
Yeah, I will tell you. Yeah, I will tell you that I just absolutely love being online with the Berklee College of Music. It's about 15 to 20 hours of work a week. I actually went part-time October 20th after 35 years of essentially being full-time, if you include residency and training. So I have no more call, and I'm working 3 days a week, so I can dedicate more time to music. But the first 6 years, like since my first album came out in 2019.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so it's just been just an absolute labor of love. I just play guitar every day. I love music, and I'm happy to share how I have gone down this rabbit hole.
I can't wait, because
yeah.
If you go back, I'm curious, I'm sure it sounds as though you probably had a passion for music from when you were very young. And then mom and dad said, there's no money in music. You need to have a title.
Yeah, well,
so bring us back
to
your childhood.
I grew up in Maine. I'm a New Englander.
Yep.
I grew up in a mill town called Lewiston, Auburn, also known as LA. Twin Cities with the Androscoggin River that goes right between it. In high school, I picked up the guitar and I just started playing, taught myself, and started just writing songs. I don't know what, that's just something that appealed to me more than playing someone else's music. And in high school,
sounds like Taylor Swift.
Yeah, but the songs weren't so good. They were okay.
But what made you pick up the guitar versus any other instrument? Was there a moment where you were trying to impress a girl, or what was it that made you pick up the guitar?
I wrote a lot of love songs in high school. I had a,
Did
you know,
you?
I had a first love in high school, so I wrote a lot of love songs. My mother played a little bit of guitar. My mother's sister
Okay.
played some guitar. So, and I think I took one of their old guitars until I finally bought one myself. In fact, I still have the original guitar that in fact, I write most of my music on the guitar that I bought in high school. Still, it's I graduated high school in 1982, so we're looking at 40 years or more from this guitar. But I simultaneously in high school wanted to be a doctor, and literally towards the end of high school, my whole focus was to be a pediatric surgeon. That's what I wanted to do with my life, is be a pediatric surgeon. And so everything I did was geared towards that. And I wrote a lot of songs in high school. I wrote a lot of songs in college while I was studying, and ultimately got into med school, went to University of Vermont. Undergrad was Boston College. And then in med school, the guitar playing started getting much less, which I have regrets about. I wish I had continued it. And then guitar playing stopped in residency. I went
Wow,
to,
because you would think that the music would be
yeah,
that balance for you. That would be
yeah,
that moment for you in your day that would allow you to find that zen, to find that balance so that you could ultimately
yeah,
clear your mind and get back into the game again.
absolutely. I look back at that time and I wish I had kept playing. But I went to Oregon and did my residency and fellowship training in general surgery and vascular surgery from 1990 to 1998. I went there as a single guy, and when I left Oregon to start my practice, I had a wife, 2 kids, and 2 dogs. So I was in 8 years busy, not only training but and I just really didn't pick up the guitar, and I didn't really pick up the guitar again until about goodness gracious, 2016 or 17.
But what was it? What was
And
that moment that made you pick it up again? Was it something, maybe a moment with your kids around the holidays, or what was the
yeah,
catalyst?
well, to be brutally honest, I was married for 28 years, raised a family. My kids are grown now. One's going to be a vascular surgeon. One's a dentist. Um, and I'm not married anymore. My former wife's a wonderful person. She's a wonderful OBGYN, wonderful mother. But it was my subsequent partner, Julie, who really encouraged me to pick up the guitar again. And she loves music. And I picked up the guitar. I started playing. I found all my old notebooks from high school that I had kept. Literally, I still have them, handwritten notes from high school. And it was kind of a defining moment for me. And I started writing songs again. I started playing. And that was around 2016. And it wasn't until about 2018 that I had approached some musicians in Portland, Oregon, to see if they wanted to hear my music. And that led to recording my first album. Yeah.
Had you,
Oh,
Rob,
nice.
sorry, back on the call here. Rob,
Yeah.
have you ever shown or played your music in front of, other folks kind of wanting their opinion? I imagine that's a bit nerve-wracking to
Yeah.
some degree.
Yeah. Well,
Exposing yourself, right?
yeah, I mean, there's definitely vulnerabilities to showing your music. If I compare where I am now in my music to like 2018 or 19, it's a very different. I was chief of surgery at the VA at that time, and I had befriended. Well, it's really kind of a very weird story. I started doing a lot of yoga in Portland. That's Portland. It's keep it weird in Portland. And
Hey, the
you got to
really
keep.
great health and wellness is a big deal there.
It is. It's
Yeah,
huge.
yeah. Keep it weird in Portland. So I started doing yoga, and I do it still like 2 or 3 times a week. And one of the yoga teachers was a musician, and she had a band. And one of the other yogis said, hey, we're all going to see this band. You got to see this band. So I went and I saw this band and I befriended this group of musicians, this band. I got to know them. And finally, after a long period of time, I said, hey, would you guys listen to my music? And they listened to it and they're like, it's not bad. It's okay. I said, have you ever been in the
So
recording
encouraging.
studio? Yeah, have you ever been? Exactly. Have you ever been in the recording
I can't
studio?
wait to play for you again.
Yeah, exactly. And they said, yeah, we've played in the record. We've been in the recording studio. So I brought them into the recording studio. And I guess I
we're
would
going
be,
to leave people hanging from that one.
Yeah.
What happened next? Find out right here on the Heart of Innovation on KDOW. Don't go away.
Wonderful cliffhanger. Wonderful.
oh, goodness.
Kim is fantastic at the cliffhangers.
Yes. Fantastic. Well, I'm so happy that this connection is working now.
Yep.
I'm curious, how do you said Starlink? That's Elon Musk's thing, right? Do you have to, is that a free service, or how do you latch onto that?
Well, the people that are running this conference, my partner, it's my partner's company that's running it, Julie's company, Well Assembled. So their AV people connected me directly to the Starlink. But I think because we're having cloudy weather today, the Starlink's not working and the hotel Wi-Fi stinks. And I'm actually on just Verizon right now.
Okay. Yeah.
So it's working, and we'll just fingers crossed. But I'm feeling more relaxed now that it's working.
That's good. So when we come back, I'll bring us back and we'll just talk about you getting into the recording studio. So had you been in the recording studio before?
Yes, I have been in the. We're just about to. I've been in the recording studio a lot.
Okay.
A lot.
Okay. But they hadn't, and so you wanted to bring them in to.
No, they had been in the recording studio before for their own albums, but I brought them in for my music.
Okay, I see. Now, and I guess I can ask you, but when we go back live, you brought them in so they could hear your music in a recording studio. Is that accurate?
No, they heard my music way beforehand. When you go in the recording studio, you got to be ready to record.
Oh, so you're going to record? Okay.
Yeah,
Wait, so I guess were you going to work with them to record something?
Yeah, I don't play on my albums. I don't sing on my albums.
Oh, I see. Okay, I got you. So these were your original songs. You wanted them to record them for you.
Yes.
Okay.
I am exactly. I am a songwriter.
Gotcha.
Not a performer. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. Here we go. All right. Now I got it. All right.
And I can explain those subtle differences.
Okay, let's do that.
Yeah.
I don't know how much time we have. You said this next one is about 6. Let's see. Next segment's about 7 minutes. And that's segment 3. We have segment 4 and segment 5.
He wants you to write a song about PAD. Douglas wants you to write a song about.
I can do that.
I
can write a song about PAD. I can do that.
We'll help you with all the experiences.
Maybe we need
well,
actually, we probably need some theme music with vocals. So Rob can write that, and then Douglas can sing it.
Oh yeah, let's get Douglas singing. You know who has a really nice voice here is Marsha O.
No, all right.
Marsha has a
Marsha.
very nice voice. We had this fun thing we called
30
Rock
seconds.
Your Walk, and people would do walking through the treetops all day long, and she did a really good one. So instead of rocking through the treetops, it's walking.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah. And then we did a walk around the clock versus rock around the clock.
That's cool.
So people were doing that while they were out walking. It was a really fun. We did that last year.
KDOW.biz.
So maybe you can help us with Rock Your Walk.
KDOW.
Welcome back to the Heart of Innovation. For more on today's topic, go to theheartofinnovation.org. That's theheartofinnovation.org. Once again, here's Emmy Award-winning journalist Kim McNicholas and interventional cardiologist Dr. John Phillips.
Welcome back, everybody. We are back and better than ever. Joined today by Dr. Rob McLafferty, vascular surgeon and songwriter extraordinaire. So before we went on to break, Rob, you were kind of telling us how you had teamed up with some local musicians, not physicians, in Portland, and you
Yeah,
wanted to get them into the studio so they could record some of your songs. Is that correct?
that's correct. That's correct. Yeah, I basically played the role of executive producer. So that means I paid for everything, and
So,
I
so
basically I
let
had
me
the
ask you
final
that, because
say. Yeah,
I have no idea that term. So executive producer, and we're going off
yeah,
topic here, but what the heck? So
sure, sure.
executive producer, like,
Yeah,
can you explain a little bit of that?
sure, sure. So there's in the recording studio, there's typically uh, um, two key individuals besides the songwriter piece and the artist piece. It's the producer and the recording engineer. Sometimes they're one and the same, but a lot of times they're not. So a producer is really like analogous to the director of a movie. So the producer is really also has a vision for the music, coordinates all the musicians, um, you know, directs the musicians in the studio on things that they need to do, whether it's the vocalists, whether it's my last album, I had 15 musicians. This album we're coming out with in the spring, which we're almost done with, has over 25 musicians.
So you're like
25.
the conductor, the kind of the conductor,
Yeah,
but you
they're
also
kind of
you
like the
pay for it.
conductor. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So, and then I have I'm working mostly out of a studio, Fremont Recording, on this fourth album. But just briefly going back to how this all started, I didn't know I wanted to be a songwriter. I didn't know I wanted to even go into music. I just had these songs I was writing, and I was like, hey, let's see if I can record these and just make an album. Really just out of my own interest. And you get into the studio and you have all these talented people coming in, and you watch the song that you wrote in your living room blossom into this amazing piece of art. And I'm biased, but there's no feeling like it. It is absolutely the most fun I have ever had. And I was like, wow, I really can see why musicians just love being musicians. And so that led, and we really didn't know what we were doing on the first album. If you listen to it, there's some good songs. It's called Crossing Lines. It's the first album. It's like 9 songs. But the second album we did, I think the musicians really hit it out of the park. Come On and Give Me Some More. And that came out in 2021. And I still didn't really know that I wanted to be a professional songwriter. It wasn't until I went to Berklee that I really figured that out. They really helped me figure out what I want to be when I grow up.
That's awesome.
In
That is
music.
awesome.
Yeah, yeah. And so, yeah.
So you wrote the lyrics and the music?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So
You have to do
yeah.
both?
So in music, what a lot of people don't realize is there's two big factions of music. There's the artist performing side, and then there's the publishing side. And the publishing side is a really strong piece of, it's like the writer side of all TV and movies. I mean, you can't have movies and TV without writers.
Yeah.
It's the same thing in music. It's the same thing in music. You have Sony Publishing, Cobalt Publishing, Columbia Publishing. You have all these boutique publishing companies. They bring songwriters together, they write songs, and these songs get pitched to major artists. And then it creates this kind of domino effect of win-wins for everybody in music.
Okay.
But breaking through those circles is difficult. They call it the climb.
But being a vascular, you're not afraid of those big obstacles. You're not afraid of a challenge.
No.
It's interesting because just this morning, a friend of mine sent me this meme from Instagram, and I think it's very timely. And it says, musicians aren't just creative. Their brains feel joy more intensely than anyone else. And here's why. And one of the things it says is brain scans show musicians' dopamine doesn't just spike at the climax of a song, it rises seconds before the moment hits. But this one I thought
Wow.
was even more interesting, that musicians develop a significantly stronger connection between hemispheres, which means their emotional and analytical centers fire simultaneously instead of separately. That's why a single chord progression can trigger memory, narrative, imagery, and physical warmth all at the same time. So it begs the question, how has your strength in music helped in your practice as well?
Oh, that's such a great question. It has helped. It has completely reinvigorated my love for medicine. I I have been in practice for 28 years. I'm still working 3 days a week. I'm still operating. I still have a very busy general vascular practice. And having this is more than a hobby. And I would say to anybody out there listening, it's great to have hobbies, but if you take it a little further than a hobby, your brain gets wired just like it gets wired for medicine. It gets wired. So my by having my brain totally wired into music, it's just made me enjoy my job in medicine so much more, so much more. I'm more relaxed, I'm more engaged, and I talk about music with my patients quite a bit too.
Yes, I want to hear a great story about how your music has helped to strengthen a relationship with one of your patients. So stay with us right here on the Heart of Innovation on KDOW. Don't go away. So yeah, it'd be great, John, if we could jump in with a story of a conversation he had with patient on music and how it
Well,
may
that's
have
so
changed the
relatable,
dynamic.
right? I mean, yeah, I think everyone loves, well, most people love music. So that's, you find a common thread and then you weave from it. So that's awesome. I question
Yeah.
though, are the same musicians that you had on the first album the same as the second, or are you always trying to find a
The,
better
the
group,
core
I
group
guess?
is has the core. I've had the same producer. Her name is Colin Hogan. She's the yoga teacher as well. And her husband is the bass player, and they are very, very close friends of mine and my partner Julie. Very close friends now. But she's the producer, and she's done an outstanding job. We have a core, but the producer is the person who's like, oh, we need a flat picker. I'm going to ask John, the flat picker, to come in, and then we give them the music. They kind of I want them to put in their own inputs as well about
Hmm.
what they're hearing and how they can be creative with the song. So I really encourage all the musicians to give us kind of their take on what they're hearing and what might add to the song. But then the producer and I work together about, hey, this is the feel. And the producer really has to get into my head because I have visions for these songs, but I also want to know what all the creativity and ideas that the other musicians have. So it's a really
Interesting.
organic, it's a really cool, organic, creative process. Yeah.
Do you
How
have to
fun.
write? So what if you just wrote the song? I guess, do you do the music first or their lyrics first?
Well, we can talk about that too. There's like it can be done in many different ways. And I have written songs where the chord progression comes first. I've written songs where I've written the words first. I've written songs where I write together. But through my songwriting master's program at Berklee, it's 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 way how shall I say this? It's way more strategic now for me to write songs. There's all kinds of literary tricks and hooks and techniques that
Is it
I'm
algorithmic? I
using.
mean, is AI involved in this now?
I don't use AI. No, AI is not typically a friend of songwriters.
I would imagine. Okay. Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I
So
was definitely going
yeah,
to ask about that because
yeah.
you're definitely coming in at a time when AI is
Mhm.
generating music and it's topping the
Oh
charts.
yeah.
They had a country
Yep.
singer who
Yep.
is completely the songs and the avatar
Yeah.
totally AI
Everything.
generated.
Everything.
What?
Yes,
that
I'm
true?
not kidding. It was
Yeah.
literally, I think, maybe Joshua remembers, but I think it was number 2 in the charts.
Yeah.
And it was a country
Yep.
song because
Yep.
people aren't as worried, I guess. And that's a little disconcerting that people just like, I think the whole techno side of things and the DJ culture has really prepared us for this transition to AI generated music. And
Yeah.
that's really sad. I know that it always comes back, right? People kind of get tired of the digital stuff, but I don't know. I would
Yeah.
love to hear your thoughts
Yeah.
on that and
Yeah.
how do you are you looking to compete in that world, or are you looking to just follow your passion and where it goes, it goes?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, my goal is to be a professional songwriter. Yeah, that's the
No,
goal.
so
But
what exactly, like, how do you become a professional songwriter?
well, you get hired by a publishing company.
So you got to get hired by a publishing company. Okay. And
Yeah, or you.
when you say
Yeah.
songwriter, you're creating the lyrics and the music.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah, that's the publishing side, and that gets pitched to artists.
30 seconds.
Joshua tells me to embrace social media.
Hey, he's honest.
How tight do I have to embrace it, Joshua?
Degrees. The cold air mass is pushing south and east.
That's a cliffhanger.
This is SRN News.
AM 1220 KDOW.
Welcome back to the Heart of Innovation. For more on today's topic, go to theheartofinnovation.org. That's theheartofinnovation.org. Once again, here's Emmy Award-winning journalist Kim McNicholas and interventional cardiologist Dr. John Phillips.
Welcome back, everybody. Just look out my window, and it is not lost on me that we're coming up on Christmas. I've got a snow-covered driveway that I have to go plow here pretty soon, and Kimberly's out west, and Rob's in Key West. I'm in the wrong place, but nonetheless, thanks for joining us. Rob, I mean, during the break, we were having a great conversation, and I know we want to get into how you can use music to connect with your patients, but I think Kim and I are both interested in the whole, you're the songwriter, right? So you're writing lyrics, doing the music, and then now all of a sudden you've got AI kind of coming into this, and you guys just told me that there's there's a song that's all AI generated. Like, how do you feel about that? How do people who want to be organic and poets feel about AI?
I would say that most songwriters are not happy, I guess is the right word, about AI generated music, because this is kind of replacing what they're doing. And any of you can download the app Suno, Suno, and you can literally put into the app, write me a song about my daughter and how much I love her, and or something, and it will spit out a song in about 30 seconds. You tell it the genre, and it's done. It's absolutely done. You give it details in your life, it will write it. And when you listen to those generated songs, which I've listened to many of them because I have a friend who uses Suno, they all have kind of the same formula. Whereas I do believe that hopefully as songwriters we'll remain viable in our craft, because there is a lot of techniques that we're using to kind of keep listeners engaged, but I don't use AI. I'm a little afraid. The only thing I'll use once in a while is something called Rhyme Zone if I have to come up with a rhyme.
That's actually with my poetry. I do the same thing. As I'm like, I need a word that rhymes with this so that it makes my poem come together a little bit better.
That's the only thing I use.
I'm
is
not
Rhyme
the only
Zone.
one.
That's awesome. But Rob, so you're getting your master's at Berklee, right? So
Yes.
they teach you.
It's
you said
Berklee with an EE,
EE,
not Berkeley with an EY.
Gotcha.
Just
But they're kind of helping you work through the process, and it's almost that you were describing it kind of algorithmic. So I guess that's why AI seems to work, right?
Yeah, I mean, this class I'm in right now called Songwriting Unmasked: Tools and Techniques. I'm on my last week this week. We're learning, we're studying hit songs, and then we have a week of certain techniques, and then we have to write a song. I've written a song every week for the last 12 weeks.
Oh my
And I have to
goodness.
use techniques that we're learning that week. So something called anaphora. Anaphora is where you use the same first word or phrase at the beginning of every sentence in a song, like every breath you take, every step you make,
I'll be watching you.
by the police. That's anaphora. Or you can use something called epistrophe, where you always use lines that end with the same thing, the same refrain line that end at the very end of a verse or over and over again. And then there is epinepsilus. That's where you use the same thing in the beginning and the end. The most famous song ever written by the Beatles uses epilepsis. That's what it is. Epilepsis sounds like a disease. Epilepsis.
Yes.
I was going to say, being a doctor, you're probably used to all these long words.
So I had to write a
What
song.
What is that song? The Beatles.
Yesterday.
Okay. Yeah.
Yesterday, all my troubles seem so far away. Now I am gonna.
Okay.
I believe in yesterday. Starts with yesterday, ends with yesterday. That is epilepsis. So you're learning all these things. Then you have to write songs in those. So that's what I'm learning in Berklee. We're learning things like parallelism and all kinds of different techniques of songwriting, which is just fascinating, absolutely fascinating.
And so when it comes to your patients, has there been a moment where the relationship with a particular patient, just the dynamic completely shifted when they found out that you were a musician? You could either relate to them or you could help relax them a little bit further with your rhythm.
Yeah, I can think of a very kind woman, super nice, has claudication. I saw her actually a couple of weeks ago. She's a bass player in a band.
Wow.
And she, I did an iliac stent on her. And she, we talk music a lot when she comes in to see me. And I think when patients, self-disclosure in medicine is a very powerful thing with patients.
Yeah.
They see you as human. If you feel like you are connecting with them early on and they're in that listening mode, you really can connect even more by sharing something personal with them as a physician. And so I think self-disclosure, whether it be music or a personal experience you went through with your own family that affected you, really speaks to a patient, because patients often don't remember everything about the medical visit. They remember how they feel when they left the visit.
Well said. Coming up next right here on the Heart of Innovation, we're going to have final thoughts and next steps in how you can follow Dr. Robert McLafferty's music career. So stay with us right here on the Heart of Innovation on KDOW. Don't go away.
Epilepsis.
Epilepsis.
It's a hard thing to say.
Epilepsis. That's like erysipelas.
Erysipelas, yeah. Little strep infection.
Yes. Little strep. So we have about 4 minutes to close out.
Yeah, we have 4 minutes in this last. And then, hey, Josh, would you mind, oh, shoot, the link for I think everyone, I don't know if Robert has it, the link for the cooking thing. I finally got the time right in there. Oh, I think I have. Nope, that's not it.
And Rob, you'll have to share with us how we can find your music.
Yeah, I'm on all streaming platforms. You can bring me up on Spotify, Apple Music. It's under Rob McLafferty.
So what's the difference? So the executive producer,
3 minutes, 40 seconds.
You pay for it as opposed to, okay.
Yeah, I put a lot of money into music.
Yeah.
My goal is if I can get it all paid back, it'll be a win for me. But it's it's just I just love it so much. I just love every part of music. I love the business aspects, the promotion aspects. I'm on social media a lot. I posted a song on Instagram this morning that I sang with a friend of mine right off the dock of Key West this morning. You have to be on social media like regularly.
Do you have someone help you with that, or you just do it yourself?
I do. I
I
have a consultant to help me with my network. I have a business consultant.
Mm-hmm.
I now have a social media consultants that are helping me. I mean,
My
I'm very
gosh.
blessed. Yeah, I'm very blessed with resources to do that. But think about
Yeah.
musicians that don't have those things, those
Yeah.
resources. It's really hard for them. I mean, they really struggle to get heard. You know.
Do you like, in order to become a professional songwriter, do you have to move to LA or New York or Nashville or something? Or I mean, is that
Yeah. Probably the short answer is yes. But though I have formed a publishing company called Clear Sky Songs, and my hope is to try to create a virtual ability to write songs, because the bottom line is, if I can create a library of music with a group of songwriters, you start to have leverage in pitching that music.
I see.
If I have 1,000 songs in a library, and I'm an Americana songwriter, I write blues, bluegrass, country, rock, singer-songwriter, folk. If I have
love
1,000
country.
songs, yeah, I write a lot of country.
Absolutely love country.
Yeah, well,
do you like
I'll
the
say-
country about, your dog
send
got
me some.
lost and you
Got
drank
stolen.
yourself, or is it more of like the newer country? I guess
yeah,
you like who is that? No Show. Who's that classic? Oh God,
George Strait is classic
George
country.
or George Jones. Was it George Jones?
George Jones, yeah.
The major
Possum, the
limitation, the limitation of AI is AI isn't predictive. Like, it's more of, it takes everything that's already been done.
30
It doesn't
seconds.
create something new. And so unless something's been created, it has nothing to pull from. So I think that that's where, if, songwriters like Dr. McLafferty continue to create and regenerate new forms, I think that they're going to continue to remain relevant.
Yeah. And I don't do pop. Pop is
That's
different.
877-579-8630.
1220 KDOW. Welcome back to the Heart of Innovation. For more on today's topic, go to theheartofinnovation.org. That's theheartofinnovation.org. Once again, here's Emmy Award-winning journalist Kim McNicholas and interventional cardiologist Dr. John Phillips.
We're back. Thanks for joining us. We have about 3 minutes, 50 seconds or so, probably about the time of one of your songs, Rob, before the show's over. So, you mentioned, like, this is not this was a hobby, but now it's more than that, and how your brain has kind of changed and how you're like ultra focused in this. So ultimately you want to become a professional songwriter. How do you envision doing that, and what do you see yourself doing in 5 years?
In 5 years, I'd love to be working with other songwriters, doing co-writes, preferably on a virtual basis, but maybe flying into they have these things called writing camps. So you get invited to a writing camp, you'll fly into a city, you'll go somewhere to someone's home or to a studio, you'll spend a week, you'll write 2 or 3 songs a day. And then all those songs will be under the umbrella of a publishing company. Those songs then begin to get pitched to major artists. So that's what I love to do. I also have a vision of forming my own publishing company, which I've done at least on paper. I have an LLC called Clear Sky Songs, and being in Berklee has really allowed me to really vastly expand my network with musicians. And I've come across several very good songwriters. So I also could just bring songwriters together myself and begin to create a library of songs to pitch.
Do you ever see yourself completely leaving practice of vascular surgery, or will you always maintain a current license?
I will always, until I'm too old to actually work, I will continue to work in medicine. Sure. I think the beauty of medicine is, I'll probably step out of the operating room maybe in the next 3 to 5 years. But even after that, I'm the medical director for a wound care center at Oregon Health and Science University. I can do wound care, 1 or 2 days a week. I mean, surgeons, and actually many other physicians too, but surgeons, we can do urgent care clinics. We can, vein clinics is an outpatient, that's another thing to do. So I'll probably, even later in life, 1 day a week. I still enjoy medicine. I think it's a great field to go into. My son is doing his residency in vascular surgery. My daughter's a dentist. And I still think it's a great field to go into.
So how can we see and listen to you and your music?
Well, I'm on all streaming platforms under Rob McLafferty, and I have 3 albums out. And then the 4th album, which will be called My Astoria, has 11 new songs. It will be coming out in the spring of this year. We're about 90% done with it. And I'm on Apple Music, Spotify, YouTube.
You have any holiday songs? Christmas songs?
I actually wrote a Thanksgiving song several weeks ago.
Awesome.
Fantastic. Thanks
for
so
joining
much.
us.
Happy holidays, everyone.
Happy
Merry
holidays.
Christmas. Happy holidays.
Yeah.
Thanks, Rob.
Thank you. Thank you.